Assalamu alaikum. This is your IRS teacher Abubakar Awal, grade 3, and this is our second lesson on suratul adiyat. Today we are going to look into the meaning of each word in the surah. So we are going to have an idea about what the surah is talking about. Later on we will learn a lesson from the surah. Now, the first ayah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, wal adiyati rabaha. The word wal adiyati rabaha, Allah is saying by the racer, that is the horse panting. By the racers, when you say the racers, that is somebody that is running. Panting is when a horse runs and cover a very long distance because of the long distance that it can cover. Its breathing will increase. That breathing that is taking place very quickly is known as panting. So the horse will be breathing very fast. That is what is called panting. So Allah swore with these processes that have taken place. وَالْآدِيَاتِ رَبْهًا, that is by the racer panting, the horse itself that is running. When it is panting, Allah swore with that word, panting. Allah swore with the word panting. Then the second ayah is فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدَحًا. فَالْمُورِيَاتِ قَدَحًا, that is the producer of spark, striking. That is the horse again. This time around, Allah is still swore with the horse because it's the horse that is producing a spark. That is when the horse, the hoof of the horse, there is iron which is used, which is called iron, the shoe. The shoe for the horse has a shoe which is made up of iron. It is placed on its hoof. So as it was running, striking the stone and the other things on the ground, when it was running, there will be sparkling of fire. Fire will be coming out and it was striking the iron. So Allah also swore with the horse that is producing that fire that is coming out. When it hit its hoof on the stone, the fire that is producing, Muriati Kadaha, and the producer of spark, that is fire, striking when the horse is making a very powerful movement. Then the top ayah, Falmugirati Subuha. Falmugirati Subuha. Falmugirati Subuha. Allah now is saying, and the chargers. Who is the charger? The person that is riding the horse. He is the one that is controlling the horse, making it to run very fast. So Allah said, and the charger, that is the rider or the attacker, at down. Subuha means down, that is morning time. This war is taking place around the morning time. Falmugirati Subuha. So the attack to the enemy is taking place in the morning time. The jihadis, that is the Muslim fighters, they are fighting in the cause of Allah. So Allah is describing the processes that they undergo in the war by swearing with all those processes that is taking place. Now the fifth ayah, فَأَسَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. فَأَسَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. That is the fourth ayah. فَأَسَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. Allah is saying, and the rise thereby dust. And the rise thereby dust. When the horse has attacked the enemy, now is in the field, they are fighting against their opponents. The battlefield will fill up with dust as the horse is struggling to run, marching the enemies. It will be raising dust. The dust will cover everywhere in the battlefield. So Allah swore with that dust that have covered the battlefield, that in such a way the enemies cannot even see each other. That is what the fourth ayah is saying. فَأَسَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. and rise thereby dust. That is the dust that have covered the battlefield. This is all what Allah is trying. This is what Allah is trying to tell us in the fourth ayah. So the dust that had covered the battlefield is what Allah is referring to. Then the fifth ayah. Let's look at the fifth ayah. The fifth ayah. فَوَسَطْنَا بِهِ جَمْعًا فَوَسَطْنَا بِهِ جَمْعًا. Now Allah is saying, then penetrate. That is, they push through in the center. Now the attackers, that is the Muslim jihadists, now they are they have entered, they have penetrated and entered the middle of the battlefield. Now they are surrounded with the enemy. The full war now is taking place. So Allah swore with that. At that moment, Allah also swore with what is happening at that particular point. That is at that particular moment when the attack, that when the Muslims now are in the middle of the battlefield, fighting against the enemy. That is the meaning of فَوَسَطْنَا Jam'a. Jam'a means the center. That is, they are collectively now. They are now surrounded with the enemy. Oh, they are fighting, the full fighting now. This is the highest, this is the peak of the fight. This is the peak or the level, the highest level in battlefield. Now the horse, they are now in the middle. So Allah said, فَوَسَطْنَا Jam'a. Allah is trying to tell us the intensity of the fighting, the high level of the fighting in the field. Then the sixth ayah, Innal insana lirabbihi lakanut. Innal insana lirabbihi lakanut. Allah now we are entering another processes again. Allah is going to give us another example again. Innal insana lirabbihi lakanut is talking about the human being now. Indeed, mankind to his Lord is surely ungrateful. That is, innal insana, indeed, mankind, lirabbihi, to his Lord, lakanut, that is ungrateful. So, innal insana lirabbihi lakanut, Allah is saying, man indeed is surely ungrateful. Yes, human beings, they are ungrateful to Allah. You see, Allah has bestowed us with a lot of blessing. You will see somebody very rich. He has made you to be healthy. You are not sick. You know, all these are bounties, are blessings from Allah. But still, we are ungrateful to what Allah provides to us. Why we are ungrateful? Because we diverted our time, or we always think about worldly things more than the obligations and the duty that Allah expects us to do to Him. We forget about worshiping Allah as He requires us to do. We give much of our time on worldly things. This is what this ayah is telling us. Innal insana lirabbihi lakanut. That is, human being or man, he was ungrateful to his Lord. That is Allah. We human beings are ungrateful to Allah. That is what the sixth ayah is saying. Then the seventh ayah, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. So after all this ungratefulness that human beings exhibit or put in practice, Allah now in the second ayah is telling them that they are going to give account on that. وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. And indeed, he on that surely a witness. That is, the human being on his ungratefulness to Allah, he is going to be a witness on that. That is such bad behaviors or things that he put in practice which is unjust to Allah or ungrateful to Allah. That, for example, dishonest to Allah, unjustful to Allah, you know, all these, you are showing ungrateful, or you are not thankful to Allah. So Allah make this statement by saying, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. That is man that have such character, those or behavior, he is going to account for it. He will be a witness on that. That is the meaning of وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. That is, and indeed, on that, surely a witness. He is going to be a witness. Surely a witness. He will be a witness on all those his action. That is what the ayah is saying. Then let's look at the 8th ayah now. We are on the 8th ayah, the 7th ayah, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. Now the 3rd ayah, the 8th ayah, وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. لَشَدِيدٌ. That is strongly. Lashadid means strongly, to love something. So Allah now is telling us, and indeed, he in love, that is the human being now, the man, he is in love of worldly or of world, surely intensely. He likes worldly things strongly. He prepared to look, or he is always after getting worldly things and decide to forget the ibadah or to concentrate in doing his obligation as Allah sent him to the world for that purpose. So, وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ, the meaning, and indeed he in the love of wealth surely strongly. That is what the 8th ayah is trying to explain to us. Human being love to have money, human being love to be rich. So on the process of getting all these things, you will forget about the ibadah. You will forget about the remembrance of Allah because he devoted his thinking on worldly things. Then the 9th ayah, Allah said, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بِأُثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. The 9th ayah, Allah said, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بِأُثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بِأُثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. This time Allah is telling us that whatever that is in the grave is coming out. The meaning of that, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بِأُثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. But does not he know? That is the man. Allah is asking, does he not know that will be scattered, that in the grave, that is whatever that is in the grave is coming out. That is the day of judgment. There is a day that is called the day of judgment. That is the end of the world. On that day, all the deads that are in the grave, that are buried, the dead body that are in the grave, on that day they are all coming out. This is what this ayah is trying to explain to us. أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ, but does not he know? That is the meaning. أَفَلَا, but does not. Then يَعْلَمُ means he know. Is أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ, then إِذَا, when بُؤُثِرَ will be scattered. Bu'uthira means will be scattered. That is when it's just as if you have a carton, you fill it with item. As you turn upside down the carton, you will find out all the content in that carton will be scattered, will come out. So this is exactly what is happening on that day. All what is in the ground will be scattered. That is, it will be brought forth. Allah will bring it out. All the dead bodies that are buried in the ground, in the grave, they are coming out. That is the meaning of Afala Alamu Izabi Uthra Mafil Kubur. Kubur means grave. So everything that is buried in the grave, that is the dead body, are coming out in that day. Then the 10th ayah, وَأُسِلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, and make apparent what is in the breast, and make apparent what in the breasts. This is the explanation of this ayah is whatever you have in your heart, hiding it. That is the bad attitude or bad behaviors that you keep within yourself, your breasts. So go, your breast, you keep it there. Allah said it will be shown, apparent, it will appear, it will be shown, it will be seen. That is, you are going to give account of it on that day. It will be known by every. Allah is going to expose what you have in your heart, what you are hiding. Because whatever you do, Allah is aware of it. You know what you are doing. So it's coming, you are going to give out all what you have in your heart that you are hiding. Whatever you are hiding in your heart to do, that is your breast or your nerves. You are keeping it within yourself, but Allah is aware. So Allah is saying, and make upright. Allah is going to make it clear. It will be known. There is nothing to be hidden. Then the last ayah, Inna rabbahum bihim yawma izin wa khabir. Inna rabbahum bihim yawma izin wa khabir. And indeed, their Lord about them that day, all aware. Allah knows everything. The all-knowing, Al-Alim, the all-knowing. Allah knows everything that you do. If you like, go and hide wherever you want to hide and do what you want to do. Allah is aware of that. And there are angels that have taken record of that deeds. So this is the meaning of these ayahs, all these ayahs, the 11 ayahs, these are the meaning. We can see now, let's see now whether we can remember what the surah, when you hear suratul adiyat, always remember the horse used in the battlefield. Because Allah swore with the processes or the action that is taking place in the battlefield. This is all what Allah is trying to give us example, mention. This is what Allah has mentioned, the processes that is taking place, the action of the horse in the battlefield and the attackers or the army that are fighting in the cause of Allah. This is all what the surah is trying to tell us. The panting by the racer, that is the horse that is panting, the breathing that is coming out panting. Well, adiyati rabaha, that is by the racer running. Then we have falmuriyati qadaha, and the producer of spark, that is striking the fire that is coming out when the horse hit a stone with its iron shoe. The fire that is coming out is known as, is what Allah is trying to tell us. The horse was the one that is producing that fire when it hit it off. Then the third ayah, Mudirati Subuha, that is the attacker, that is the jihadis, the Muslim fighters now that are fighting at dawn, that is morning time, Subuha, morning time. This war is taking place in the morning time. Mudirati Subuha, and the chargers or the attackers or the riders of the horse. This is what Allah is referring to. Then the fourth ayah, فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا. فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ نَقْعًا, the dust that have covered the battlefield. This is what Allah is trying to tell us, because the field will be filled up with dust because of the war that is taking place. Then the fifth ayah, فَأَثَرْنَ بِهِ جَمْعًا, Allah is taking us the peak or the highest level in war. That is when the horse now is in the middle, or have entered the center where that is the middle of the battlefield. The fighting now is in the middle of the battlefield. That is for suddenly jam'a. Then the sixth ayah, Allah said, Innal insana li rabbihi lakanud. That is human being, they are ungrateful to Allah. Human being, they are what? Ungrateful to Allah. They don't show they are not thankful to Allah, they are ungrateful because they devoted most of their time looking for worldly things. Then the seventh ayah, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. Then that unthankfulness, Allah said that they have that unthankfulness. Allah is saying, وَإِنَّهُ عَلَى ذَلِكَ لَشَهِيدٌ. They are going to be a witness. That is, they are going to give account of all that their unthankfulness, that is their dishonest to Allah, unthankful to Him, all they have, all the evil things that they used to do, they will give account on that. Then the 8th ayah, Allah said, وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. That is the man, that is وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. That is, he loved wealth strongly. He keep much of his time looking forward to it. That is the 8th ayah. They deny Allah, say, أَفَلَا يَعْلَمُ إِذَا بُعْثِرَ مَا فِي الْقُبُورِ. That man, does he not know that what is in the grave will be scattered, that it will be brought up, it will be coming out. That is on the day of judgment. Then the 10th ayah, Allah said, وَقُسِّلَ مَا فِي الصُّدُورِ, and make apparent what is in heart or what is in the breast. Allah is going to expose what you have in your heart, what you commit when you are alive, and you are hiding it. You don't want other people to know. In that day, Allah is going to make it apparent. It will be seen by everybody. You will give account, it will be shown, you will give account of it. Then the last ayah, Allah said, Inna rabbahum bihim yawma izin wa khabir. That is indeed in their Lord about them that day is all aware. That is, Allah has known all what we have been doing when we are alive. Allah has an angel that are taking record of that. On the day of judgment, that record will be open, and the angels are going to read all our deeds, either good or bad. We are going to give account of it. So this all what suratul adiyat is trying to explain to us. I hope by now when you hear somebody reciting suratul adiyat, you know it's talking about the processes that have taken place in the battlefield. Allah is trying to explain to us what is taking place in the battlefield. He is telling us step by step the processes or the action that is taking place in the battlefield. This is almost what Adiyat is trying to explain. So anytime when you hear the recitation, always have at the back of your mind this surah is talking about the horse that is panting and producing fire when it hits its hoof on the ground. The hoof is having iron shoe. The horse used to have an iron shoe, as I mentioned. When he hit it on the rock as it was running, fire will be coming out. There will be fire coming out. That is what it means. Try to have that at the back of your mind, and remember this is what the surah is trying to explain. Allah is telling us about the Muslim jihadis. So let's look at the lesson learned in the surah, or lesson contained in the surah. The surah shows Muslim confidence to fight in the cause of Allah. You have heard it, how Muslims are having confidence to fight in the cause of Allah. Then number 2, it shows that man is ungrateful to Allah. You hear what you have heard what I have said. Innal insana li lakanut. You remember? Innal insana li lakanut. Man is ungrateful to Allah. This is what Allah is saying. Then number 3, man loves wealth and other worldly affair excessively. That is to say, that is the 8th ayah. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. وَإِنَّهُ لِحُبِّ الْخَيْرِ لَشَدِيدٌ. That is, man loves worldly things excessively. That is, he loves it strongly. He always likes to be rich. That make him to even forget about Allah. So this is all what this surah is trying to explain to us. So I hope by now you have an idea what Suratul Adiyat is trying to explain, or what Allah is trying to explain to us in suratul adiyat. When always remember about the horse, the panting, the hitting of its hoof on the stone producing fire. Also remember the attackers, that is the Muslim fighters, fighting in the morning time. Then the dust that have covered the battlefield. Then always also remember that Allah said human beings, they are ungrateful to Him, because why they are ungrateful? They prepare worldly things than worshipping Him. And also we should remember in the surah, Allah said, whatever we have in our hearts, hiding it, Allah is aware of it, and we are going to give account of it on the day of judgment. And Allah is still telling us that all the dead that are buried in the grave, on that day they are coming out. In the grave they will come out. That is all what Surah Al-Adiyat is trying to explain to us. So for your homework, I think you have only one question to answer. Homework. Mention 2 lessons learned in Surah Al-Adiyat. So that is your homework, and your activities. Try to have an audio of the recitation of Surah Al-Adiyat. Try to be listening. Try to be familiar with the recitation from the audio. And when you are familiar with the recitation, try to also use this surah in your 5 daily prayers. When you are praying a raka'ah, you have to, in the first raka'ah, you have to read Fatiha, then followed by any surah. So I want you to be using Surah Al-Adiyat as your surah in your each raka'ah in the 5 daily prayers. That is your activities. So